Dem candidate pushing irresponsible breeder tax on certain parents because of privilege. Scott Wallace is a multimillionaire running in Pennsylvania's 1st congressional district against current incumbent Representative Brian Fitzpatrick, PAR. Considered an elite, even amongst the wealthy, he boasts a net worth of between $127 million and $309 million, according to his financial disclosure statement. This would make him the third richest member of Congress if he were elected to the House today. From a hardline leftist pedigree, his grandfather was Henry Wallace, the New Deal visionary and one-time vice president under former President Franklin D. Roosevelt. His wealth is inherited, stemming from a seed company his grandfather founded that was purchased by DuPont for $10 billion in the 1990s, along with a large number of stocks, with the largest being Dow DuPont. His campaign is largely self-funded, with Wallace claiming he is putting a significant amount of my own assets into this because this is the most important thing I can imagine doing for America at this point in my life. This is a very expensive district to run in, but it is crucial in the Democrats' efforts to retake the House. But just why this is so incredibly important to Wallace goes beyond the typical party lines of Republican and Democrat. Receiving endorsements from both Planned Parenthood and the National Organization for Women, NOW, Wallace is a population control zealot who believes families who choose to have more than 2 children are irresponsible breeders and should be taxed. Wallace has donated nearly $7 million to various population control groups over the past 20 years, with the majority going through his own Wallace Global Fund. In addition to its efforts towards population control, the foundation has also reportedly donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to anti-Israel groups that support a boycott of the Jewish state. Fox News reports. Zero Population Growth, ZPG, was among the organizations that received the money from the fund. According to public records, it received $420,000 between 1997 and 2003. The group, shortly after being founded in 1968, released a brochure advocating abortion to stabilize population growth and claimed that no responsible family should have more than 2 children. To deal with larger families, it also called for families to be taxed to the hilt for irresponsible breeding. It also blamed the overpopulation on the white middle class that use up more than their share of resources and do more than their share of polluting, and urged them to voluntarily limit their families to 2 children. Paul Ehrlich, who co-founded the ZPG, once called abortion a highly effective weapon in the armory of population control. The goal of the organization, which changed its name to Population Connection in 2002, has remained the same since its inception, arguing that the world needs to contain population growth with particular emphasis on American families. The organization's political arm, Population Connection Action Fund, publicly endorsed Wallace for Congress, saying his support for their cause is exactly the kind of dedication we need in Congress. Wallace's fund also gave $20,000 in 2010 to the Center for the Advancement of the Steady State Economy, CAS, a group that sees the economic growth as undesirable and instead supports an economy with stable or mildly fluctuating levels and a society where birth rates equal DH rates. The organization openly supports zero population growth, and its executive board member, Herman Daly, advocated issuing reproduction licenses, allowing women to have only 2 children unless they buy the license for more children from other women. Daly called it the best plan yet offered to limit population growth. The group advocates strongly for abortion and along with taxing families to the hilt for having more than 2 children, as noted in a Yale Law School publication about the voices that shaped the abortion debate before the Roe v. Wade Supreme Court's ruling. The group advocates that no responsible family should have more than 2 children. Any family wanting to care for more than 2 children should adopt further children. Adopting children does not increase the population. All methods of birth control, including legalized abortion, should be freely available, and at no cost in poverty cases. Irresponsible people who have more than 2 children should be taxed to the hilt for the privilege of irresponsible breeding. Fox News continued. Zoe Wilson-Meyer, communications director for Wallace's campaign, didn't answer Fox News questions on whether Wallace still supports the ideas expressed by the groups. The Wallace Global Fund has for decades been a leader in helping women gain access to family planning. Former co-chair Scott Wallace is proud of the work of grantees like Planned Parenthood in empowering women and protecting reproductive rights, and will stand up for Pennsylvania women, she said in an email. In Washington, Brian Fitzpatrick voted to defund Planned Parenthood and supports Donald Trump's effort to take away a woman's right to choose, she added.